Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is it.
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I am Sam Nifty Delaney. So what?
Welcome along to, it's the Monday morning episode, but you're going to get it on a Sunday evening if you're IFS. What could be lovelier than that? I don't know what else is going on a Sunday evening, apart from the darts. I'm balls deep in the darts already, Sam. It's only been on 3 days.
We're privileged you've taken a break from the darts to record this.
I'm missing a round one match.
You're missing hot darts.
The quality in round one is it's a bit hit and miss. But right. I have took time out to do this podcast for you.
Isn't it Sports Personality of the Year tonight as well?
Oh, I think it's on Tuesday. I think they've moved it to Tuesday for some reason.
It's a classic Sunday night.
Of course it is.
What's the matter with this country?
Yeah.
I think I'm getting to be a right old bastard because I'm becoming more into tradition, something that I used to hate.
Yeah.
And look, don't get me wrong, Andy. I, of course, haven't watched Sports Personality of the Year for decades. Because it is complete shit.
It's Tory telly.
That said, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen on a Sunday night, for fuck's sake.
Talking about tradition, when I was a kid growing up, Sunday, when Sports Personality of the Year was on, that's the night the Christmas tree went up. Right. Every year without fail.
Always synced it. Yeah.
Spotty Sunday. Of course, no one called it Spotty back then. They call it Spotty now because it's a convenient, hashtag thing. But that was when the tree used to go up, and it's a fucking Tuesday night now. But fuck it. And the same week, talking of traditions, this is the same weekend when A Question of Sport has been finally put out of its misery.
Oh God,
something else I haven't watched for decades.
That's Tory telly. The thing about that was, in the 80s, I would watch it religiously, but that's because there just wasn't any sort of there wasn't much good sport on TV, and there certainly wasn't any sport-related fun content. Now, I'd say there's too much of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's too much funny, but there's too much banter vision these days, isn't there?
Well, it fell into the hands of Paddy McGuinness, didn't it? A couple of years ago, tragically, after Sue Barker was removed. And
Question of Sport? Are you serious?
Paddy McGuinness.
Yeah. Paddy McGuinness hosts it.
Hosts A Question of Sport. Yeah.
Does he?
Paddy McGuinness has seen off Top Gear and A Question of Sport in this calendar year.
I had no fucking idea. I thought it was still Sue Barker. The thing is, in the Sue Barker years, all I think of, in fact, I think when I stopped watching it for good, was when Sue Barker insisted on pretending to cry with laughter in every episode. And I just thought that really devalues crying with laughter. Crying with laughter used to be a thing that had happened to someone maybe once or twice in their life if they were lucky. Yeah. You cry so much that tears are streaming down your face, right? I think it's happened to me a couple of times, and they're golden memories, right? Yeah. It's like you're hitting the jackpot. Someone or something's made you laugh so much. You're so joyful, you're crying. It's almost
lost control of your body. Lost control of your senses.
It's almost supernatural, right?
Like being taken over by a poltergeist.
And then you tune into fucking Question of Sport, and some fucking dope, right? Like Will fuckface the rugby man, who that rugby player who's always on it with the shit-eating smile.
Will Carlin?
No, not him. Although it might just as likely have been him.
There's more than one rugby player called called Will. Sorry.
There. No, it's one of the team captains, not Phil Tufnell, the other one. But whoever. What I mean is, a dreary sportsman makes sort of a terrible, sort of dismal fucking sexual innuendo, right? And Barker is straight away wiping the imaginary tears from the corner of her eyes. Yeah. And it came to my attention she was doing this every week. And I'm thinking, you're doing it for nothing. People are barely making a joke, and you're pretending to wipe. It's insulting to everyone. It's insulting to the guy who's made the joke. It's insulting to us at home. It's insulting to yourself. Most of all, it's devaluing crying with laughter. And that was why I decided to boycott it.
You said enough's enough.
Enough's enough. I'm not having this. But of course, since then, Crime with Laughter has been devalued by all of us to a much greater extent than Sue Barker could ever manage on her own, because of the liberal use of the Crime with Laughter emoji.
Yeah, we're all crying.
She started getting up to her Crime with Laughter bullshit years before emojis were even invented, right? Mm-hmm. But then emojis were invented, and I would say it's my second most used emoji.
Can I guess what your first one is?
What?
It's the thumbs
you'll
up.
know. Yeah, you know. I text you probably more than most people, and those are two that I would text you a lot. But there is a small amount of guilt every time I do use the Crime with Laughter emoji, right? Because every time it's a lie. Because every time I send it, I am never crying with laughter.
No, I use it a lot as well. I think you sent one the other day to me which had the crying with laughter emoji and the thumbs up together.
I often do that to people, It's like,
double
good,
whammy.
I agree with this, but I am also amused by it. So it's the double whammy.
Go. Have that. Pick the bones out of that. I think the crying with laughter emoji is actually based on Sue Barker's face. If you take a close look at it, you can put it over her actual face, and it's the same.
The author of the emoji dictionary.
Author. Yeah, Sir John Emoji.
He's talked how I needed something. I was stuck on laughter, and I didn't quite know how to show it, so I was just going to have someone with their mouth wide open. But it kind of looked like they were shouting, and I thought it's not the same. And then one day, I was sitting watching Question of Sport, and Sue Barker came on, and everything fucking Will Carlin said, she cried with laughter about. So I started just sketching her face freehand.
I think it's.
And I decided to colour it in yellow.
I think it's baked into the format because Emlyn Hughes would do it, but only like 2 or 3 times a series.
Yeah.
So I think that'll continue on.
I saw when people were talking about it yesterday. It's a classic. No one fucking watches it. No one likes it. Then it gets cancelled. And everyone's going, "Oh, Question of Sport has been cancelled." I was like, "Fine." I don't think
there's been any outcry. I think I was just going, still on, is it?
But they shared the clip. This sums up. I mean, I can't believe, when you think of some of the great shows that have been cancelled, I can't believe that Question of Sport has lasted as long as it did. Yeah, when you think of all those years of they think it's all over, that's come and gone. That was in the 90s. That was huge, wasn't it? Right?
Well, that was an attempt to try and banter up Question of Sport, wasn't it? And
yes.
then it went full circle.
It was good. When it started, it was a breath of fresh air, I thought. And then you got Corden does it over on Sky, the most bantankerous show in the world, right? And, Mika
What's
Richards
that called
is just...
again? Just banter.
Yeah. And then Mika Richards has just become almost like a walking, talking, non-stop, mechanical banter laughter machine.
He is the new Sue Barker. He is the Crime with Laughter king now.
But he doesn't even need a television format. He's doing it all the time. He lives and breathes it. He's like a performance artist. Yeah. He is like banter, right?
Totally.
And wherever he's on, he'll be on an advert, like body popping and laughing. He'll be on BBC. Then you flick over on another live show. He's on Sky simultaneously to Mika Richards, and in both he is shouting and laughing his head off. And then you see he's in with Lineker and Shearer, and he is laughing like a fucking drain, saying cheeky things, right, and then laughing his head off. So the world's drowning in banter right now, but kids. Any kids listening to this, you've got to understand that now you've got so much banter, you don't know what to do with it. You have to save some up. I'm always bookmarking bits of banter on Instagram and Twitter because I think that looks like a fun bit of banter, but I can't watch it now because my wife's asleep next to me and I can't put the volume on and my headphones aren't here.
Yeah. Or
I just don't have time right now. I'm busy doing something. I can't watch this banter now, but I don't want to miss out on this banter, so I'll bookmark it and I'll go back to it.
Go back.
I set some time aside in the week for banter catch-up. But in the 80s...
Can you catch up with banter, though? I think even though
it when it's fresh.
Not going out live, you have to watch it as it's being broadcast, I think,
you're right.
To get the full effect.
You're right, yeah.
Because otherwise you might miss on the water cooler banter at work the next
and it's
day.
old, and the last thing you want to do is start sharing it with people, which I do. I don't know if you ever share content with your kids, and they're kind of polite to you about. Did you see that clip I sent you? Did you see it?
Yeah, we saw this 9 months ago. Dad.
yeah, it's 9 months old. Do you do that? I do that quite a lot.
Yeah.
I thought you'd really like it. Well, I did when I first saw it in 2022.
I did when I was 13. When I first saw it, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a classic dad thing to do that, I think.
Yeah.
But back then there wasn't much banter.
Speaking of banter levels, have you seen what's on ITV, or has been over the last hour while we were recording this?
No.
There is a special celebrity edition.
Bantsman of the Year Awards. No.
Well, it's a special celebrity edition of the needlessly revitalised Deal or No Deal. Which is now presented by Stephen Mulhern instead of Noel Edmonds.
Mulhern's got in on the act.
For fuck's sake.
I like Mulhern. I think he's brilliant.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he's amazing. He's good at hosting, but he's also a magician as well. He's fucking double threat, mate.
But as my mate Harry says, magicians are just hand liars. You know, anyone can learn magic. It's not real magic.
Yeah, but
Fuck
still,
that.
man.
But anyway, celebrity Deal or No Deal. And who's the fella sat behind picking the numbers, picking the boxes? Fucking Michael Owen.
What? Well,
is this some kind of anti-banter kind of move?
He's a banter black hole.
Are we moving into the era of zero banter now? Is that where we're at?
Maybe that's what we need. It's one extreme or the other.
What is the powers that be have looked at the Paddy McGuinness effect. Paddy McGuinness, of course, is Britain's leading banterist. And they've seen that he's had 2 shows cancelled in a week, and they've gone, how can we counteract this? We've got to go against it. We've got to go Michael Owen. We've got to take it down to nothing.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Throw an apple into a bin? That's as good as it's going to get.
The funniest bit ever, they had to trawl the archives of Christian sport to come up with the most iconic, funniest bit ever. And it remains the bit where Emlyn Hughes... By the way, check out the knitwear on old 80s editions of Christian Sport. It's amazing. They all wore these sort of quite thick, brightly coloured V-neck jumpers with massive V-necks and in an Argyle print. Bill Beaumont, Emlyn Hughes, all the guests. Jan Mulby.
Would you call them golf club jumpers?
Yeah, they're golf. They all wore golf jumpers. Jan Mulby's in this particular clip, and it remains the most famous clip. And basically, it's a jockey with mud all over their face, and they're really struggling to identify it, the person. And Emlyn Hughes says, "Is it Princess Anne?" And David Coleman says, "No, it's not Princess Anne." And then everyone starts laughing their heads off. And then David Coleman says, "She's coming on as a guest next week as well." And Emlyn Hughes sort of puts his head on the desk as if like, "Oh no! Oh, this is most embarrassing." It's piss poor. It's the most piss poor, weak, over diluted banter.
I've seen 2 versions. I've seen another one.
What's
the one where the jockey's got mud in their face.
Yeah, and he says it's Princess Anne.
It's Princess Anne, but Emlyn Hughes goes, it's John Reid.
Oh, okay. All right, I got it the wrong way around.
Maybe after. There was something like that, though, where Princess Anne was going to be on the week after. And
she was going to come on.
It called her a bitch or something like that. I can't remember. Something like that.
No, he said, "Shut up, slag." But it was just supposed to be a joke, but it didn't land, and she was annoyed. Yeah,
you do that in the 80s. Yeah, he says it's John Reid, and then it was Princess Anne. But she'd already been on, I think, and they were best mates because she sat next to him, and he put his arm round her at one point and almost got executed for it.
He didn't get. Am I imagining? Did she get her handbag out at one point and threaten to hit him with it? Or have I imagined that?
I can't remember that. I think Rod Stewart had looked through her handbag. He was the other one on the team. Rod Stewart says, "What's in your handbag?" When she got her handbag out.
Hello, darling. What's in your... That's how he pulled Princess Anne. Back in the late 70s, he got hold of her. Have you watched any episodes of The Crown that are set in the 70s when Princess Anne's supposed to be quite young?
I've watched one
There's an
episode
actor
of The
who
Crown.
plays Princess Anne who's like really fit, and it's really confusing because you end up really fancying Princess Anne.
Right.
Which, fair play to Princess Anne, but I've never fancied her before.
It's not based on reality, that show at all, is it, really? talking about TV formats that'll never die and their heydays back in the 1980s. Are you aware of the channel called That's TV?
No, sounds
It's down
good though.
it's on Freeview and it's on Sky, right down in the listings, but it shows loads of repeats of old telly stuff. And as of this weekend, they are showing from the beginning the original Terry Wogan run of Blankety Blank.
Oh, that's good.
But that's got to be watchable, hasn't it? Sure.
Right from episode 1, I'd be
Right from the
fascinated. I'm
start.
always fascinated in seeing the first episode of iconic shows.
Because it's
I'd be really
like the early
interested to
days
see the first.
when Don Howe used to be on quite regularly.
Oh, he was a regular,
So, yeah.
He kept asking if he could be team captain, and Terry had to keep explaining to him that's not how it works.
Well, he wanted to be bottom row centre where the comedians usually sat, where Everett usually sat.
And they go, that's not
Bernie
really,
Winters.
you're more of a top right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to talk
halfway-
to my agent about this because this is fucking shit. I should be I should be in the funny seat, not the cunt seat.
I mean,
It's
to
not the
deliver
cunt
the fucking
seat.
laughs.
It's just more of the straight man. Come on, you and I both know that's the cunt seat you're putting me in.
Look, there's two things I'll provide. I'll provide laughs and I'll provide tactical insight. Now, for that, you're going to want me bottom centre. Get it fucking sorted.
You're wasting me. Terry, you're wasting me up there, top right. I mean, it's
wide.
almost not worth pricking me at all in the first place. What am I going to do up there? Fuck all. Sat next to fucking Cleo Rockus, right?
I mean, it's nice. The view's
It's
nice.
but to be honest, if you want someone to just sit here staring at someone's big tits, you could have got Dave Sexton. Oh, Dave Sexton could have done it. It said for half the price as well, I happen to know.
Jalapeño.
Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you wouldn't be hearing this brief but annoying message if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St. Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that'll get right on your tits.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
Oh, at this point, I should mention this on the socials a couple of days ago. We are, of course, doing our bespoke video messages, as we always do. But if you want one for your pals or family or friends or whatever, in the run-up to Christmas, the cut-off date is the 21st of December, which I think is Thursday, isn't it? Yeah, Thursday. We're not doing nout after Thursday, the 21st.
No, it's just peanuts all the way after that.
So you got to go to what's the website called again? tftimemachine.com/video messages. Find out how to get one, and we'll do one, and it'll be good.
Yeah,
love it.
and we were willing to do it in the style of Don Howe, should you wish.
Only
You
Don
just
Howe.
No
other
when
requests.
you say it, that's the only impression we'll do is Don Howe on Blankety Blank. If you want
Yeah.
a Don Howe special, we will do that, no extra charge.
I'm looking up at the notes that I sometimes make during episodes as to what we need to do, bits of housekeeping, bits of business that need to be taken care of. And it says here, Monday, will he implant NHS, Sam?
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe that's something
So-
you were wanting to discuss.
Yeah, I wrote an article about erectile dysfunction. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you looking directly at me like that for when you say erectile dysfunction? What are you implying?
Listen,
Fucking
everyone. Well, I had an interesting conversation with a mate of mine about this because he said that it didn't exist, erectile dysfunction, and I said,
Right.
yes, it fucking does. And I fucking
Why, he says
speak
it
from
doesn't
experience,
exist?
mate. He said it doesn't exist.
Okay.
He said it doesn't exist. He goes, it used to be called impotence because it was a psychological illness,
Right.
a psychological phenomenon.
Yeah.
He went, and then what happened was the big pharma came up with Viagra, and they then got it recategorized as a physiological condition, right?
Yeah.
Whereby you were mentally aroused, right?
Yeah.
You don't mind me using the word aroused, do you?
I'm fine with that.
Because
You're staring
I'm
at us
probably
again,
going to
but
use it a few.
I'm not happy with you staring at us again while you say it.
Okay, well, I'll look away when I say aroused, right?
Yeah.
He said, it was like, he basically said, look, the thing about it is you either are in the mood or you're not. And if you are, then you'll get an erection. But if you're not, right,
Yeah.
if you're not getting an erection, that's your body's way of telling your brain You're not feeling
Not
it.
tonight, Josephine. Yeah.
Don't. And Big Pharma have tricked us into thinking, no, you do want sex. It's just you can't physically do it, so take this pill. That's what he said. And I said, I don't know about that. I said, because there's been times in my life where I've been bang up for it. Admittedly, on all these occasions, alcohol / drugs would have been involved.
Waiting for that, yeah.
My wedding night, I was off my tits. But of course, on your wedding night, you want to have it off, don't you?
It's traditional.
Tradition.
Yeah.
It's as I said to my wife on the night, it's as traditional as Sports Personality of the Year going out on a Sunday night.
Like, come on, get him off.
That was the analogy I used. I thought that she'd like it. But I couldn't. I can't tell you the whole story now. It was an absolute shit show. It was a mess, and it dragged on as I kept trying and trying,
best you
puffing and
don't tell
puffing.
us it. Yeah.
It was awful. But all blokes have been there. And anyway, my mate said to me when I told him I'd written this, he goes, "Yeah, it's all bollocks." He goes, "It's just a pill." I said, "But those pills work." He said, "No, it's a placebo. It's just a placebo. They don't work." I thought, this is a bit far-fetched. I'd interviewed a bunch of different urologists, woolly doctors, right, about it. And they said it does exist. And a lot of men, it causes a lot of problems.
A bunch of experts against your mate, and they say it
Against
does
my
exist,
mate.
and he reckons it doesn't.
He insists it doesn't.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
He probably thinks they're in the hands of Big Pharma.
Of course.
Though,
We've had
doesn't
enough
he?
experts, haven't we?
Yeah. So...
Yes, we have.
But anyway, I won't tell you about all the things I found out. I thought it would just be Viagra when I interviewed them, and I spoke to the top doctor at I think it was UCH in London. He said,
"Can you put the top doctor on, please?"
But it's Sam Delaney here. What?
Yeah, Britain's top journalist.
No, I'm not fucking spelling it. Google it. Google it. Sam Delaney. You'll soon fucking find out. Now
What, you want me
listen.
to spell Sam?
Put me
Fucking
through
hell.
to the fucking Willy department. Pronto. I'm on a deadline here. Right. So I went through to the fucking Willy department, spoke to this guy who's quite a straight guy, straight talking Indian bloke, right? And he's taught me through the different things you can have, injections, pills that you'd put down your willy. That's right, Andy.
What, like,
in
is
the
that,
hole.
Is that like, the space dust that you used to put on your tongue and it would crackle? Is it like that?
I
Penis
don't know if
equivalent.
you've ever been driving along, you've got a puncture, but you can't get a tyre. So just as a short-term measure, you can buy that foam that you kind of fire into the wheel and it just expands. I think it's like that.
It's like that.
It inflates your
Straight
willy.
in.
No,
But
seriously,
it'll have to
right?
be in this sort of dispensed through the same kind of straw you have on a can of WD-40, which is really, really narrow. To
I'm
get it in
serious. I'm serious. They put cream down your willy using something just like
there. Use
that.
the WD-40 straw. Fucking hell.
They put a pill down there too, and if that don't work, they give you an injection that you can do on yourself at home into your willy.
And if that don't work, they fucking kick you out. Because
No,
you're
if
fucked.
that don't work, I kept escalating. I said, "What if that doesn't work?" He said, "If that doesn't work, there's two different types of implant you can have. The first, this is interesting, but I can see that it's making you uncomfortable.
I'm
Okay,
bewildered by it.
Right, well, get ready. You're going to be a lot more bewildered, and I warn you now that the things that I'm about to tell you, you will think that I'm making up to be silly."
Okay.
But I have to tell you now, none of the following is made up to be silly. It's all true.
Okay.
The first type of implant they put in, he's gone to me, we put in two hard rubber sort of bars into your willy.
Hard rubber bars?
You get going into your penis. They're bendable, that's it. So they're bendable. Right? They're bendable like bits of rubber. And he said, and once you have done that, he said, your penis is always erect forever. And I said, well,
Forever?
what about when you're not having sex? He goes, that's why they're bendable. You can fold it away to conceal it when you are not having sex, right? So I'm like,
just rest it in your perineum.
yeah, you just fold it out wherever, like that geezer in Silence of the Lambs. Try and tuck
down,
up your bum,
fold it
whatever.
up. Got to fold it down
It's
out
up to
of
you.
view.
It's up
haven't
to you. It's like, let's think. Anyway, I don't know. I haven't seen one, but I might Google it later.
Right.
But then I said, what about, he goes, the other type. He goes, the other type is, he goes, we put 2 balloon type things inside your penis.
Jesus.
Right? He said, and then we insert a saline reservoir into your pelvis. So we open you up, put this saline reservoir, like a bag of saline, into your pelvis, adjacent to your bladder, right? And there's a pipe between that and your willy. But get this, here's the third thing they do. They then put a small pump in your scrotum between your 2 testicles.
What, you've got a hand pump it yourself?
You go, so you're just getting down to it. You've got the old fucking Barry White on the stereo, right?
Yeah.
You've given a bunch of flowers and a fucking box of milk tray. Everything's going fucking cracking, right? You've got your best clothes. You've doused yourself in Cossack, yeah? You've doused yourself in Cossack and you're wearing your best shirt.
Yeah.
Fucking
Textbook.
jackpot, right?
Yeah.
You've got the green light. And then you go, oh, would you like to make yourself more comfortable? Just sit over there. And then you grab hold of this fucking pump in your ball bag and you go, pump, 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 pump. And the pump pumps the saline from, it activates the mechanism where it pumps the saline from your reservoir in your pelvis into your willy. That inflates the balloons and your willy with it.
Periscope, as it were.
Yeah, you do the sex. And then I go, what happens after that?
Hang on, whoa.
Yeah.
With all of this fucking rigmarole going
the
on,
mechanics,
how does the spunk come out?
Oh,
surely there's no way for the spunk to come out. It's all piped up,
I didn't ask him
it?
about spunking.
It's all like
I didn't
fucking
ask him about
roadworks.
spunking. That's all very well, Doc. I've listened to what you have to say. But there is one thing you have not clarified. Spunk.
If I don't get to do any...
to be more precise... Spunk up.
It's all right me being hard and everything, but if I ain't doing any spunking, there's no fucking point, is there?
No point, really. It's rude to the lady as well. Ladies like to do a bit of spunk at the end. It shows you've enjoyed it.
I could just do some fingering instead, couldn't I? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, anyway, when he told me this, there was he was so serious and formal, you know, like doctors can be.
Yeah.
And there was just a really long pause, and all I said was, is this available on the NHS? So that was the only thing I could think, because I thought, this seems so over the top. It can't possibly... And he went, oh yes, we do many operations every year, but it doesn't get reported because there is so much stigma for men associated with this. And I was like, yeah, there is stigma, and I don't want to perpetuate the stigma. And if there are men who are struggling to meet the needs of their lover, right? Then fair dues. Maybe you need a willy implant, but it seems to me personally, it's a lot to go through, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
The vast majority of the world's problems are down to men and their fucking stigmas, whether it's an inability to get it up or fucking premature baldness or whatever.
Oh, hey, stop going on about that. I'm prematurely, I'm not really premature at this stage.
Yeah, I'm not all the premature baldies, but a vast majority of them. Fucking hell.
Ten Hag, the Manchester United manager.
Is what?
Ten Hag, the Manchester United manager. Prematurely bald.
I just
think he's a sex person, in my opinion. I think we've discussed it before.
It's the baldness and the voice.
I just think he's got sex person written all over him.
And the fact that he's Dutch. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, he's Dutch, he's bald. He's kind of like, he's got a sort of a creepy way about his movements.
Do you think we'll ever get back on TalkSport, Sam?
I would thought this sort of stuff would go down really well on the night shift.
Yeah,
or early breakfast.
Oh, when people are listening in Australia in the morning.
Yeah, so anyway, that's willy implants for you.
That's willy implants.
I learnt a lot. But
I have as well.
I said to him, does the man still have the same sensation? And he insisted yes, but again, I'm not convinced. But
Feels unlikely.
Who am I to judge it? He's the top doc in this. He's the top willy doc in the land, as I understand it.
It's like, at some point men have just got to go. That's over for me now. That door's closed. Fine. Nature has decided that I'm no longer able to get it up. I mean, it was George Melly, the jazz musician and writer and bon vivant. And it's not an original quote, but he once said that losing his libido was like finally being untethered from a madman.
Yes.
You know what
yes,
I mean?
I've heard that quote.
It's,
and
there's a lot
I
to be said for
remember that resonated me when I was in like my 20s.
Yeah.
I was like, I could really do without wanting to have it
the
off all
horn
the time. Because it's just annoying. Certainly in my fucking teens. I mean, but in teens it's sort of still a novelty. But then by the time you get into it, you're like, fuck's sake, I've got so much other shit I've got to do. Do you know what I mean? There's so much fucking admin that you've got to take care of as an adult.
Yeah.
You know, the last thing you need is to be getting erections and wanting to have it off all the time. But it does haunt you. And you would hope. I always looked at older men. We often talk about older men. I was talking about my granddad the other day and how we sort of look and aspire to the granddad lifestyle. But one of the things that I probably subconsciously aspired to was the idea that these old men no longer had to bother themselves thinking about sex or women.
I think they probably do. I don't think it stops.
Or whatever. But the problem is they fucking do. I've only just found that out recently. They
Well,
still
I mean,
do.
you've got
I'm
the likes
talking
of
to these
De
doctors.
Niro and Pacino
They're
fathering
all at
kids
it.
in their late 70s. So, you know,
They're all at it, mate.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. So it makes
I
you
mean,
think,
my
doesn't
old
it?
man, you go round there and he's got like 1,000,001 sort of stories about what might have been with some girl in the office who he had a thing with, but it never really went far. And what if this, what if that? And I'm thinking,
It's nice.
oh, God, stop. Why are you sitting around all day thinking about birds you could have had it off with, but didn't? That'll kill you. That fucking will tip you over the edge, mate.
Yeah, it's like football. It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah.
Speaking of football, let's have a look at the prediction league. That was a good segue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
We've got what happened. Yeah, you got 5 points. I've got 3 points. Results, but also got 5 points. So the gap remains 12.
Fucking results, but how
Yeah.
can this be happening?
Yeah, it was Bristol City 1, Sunderland 0. That did for us with the results spot this week. So yeah,
I've been to West Ham today. We won 3-0, and
fun.
on top of that, I went to and had a roast lunch in the pub beforehand.
Oh, very
Which
nice.
I've never done before. Me and Lenny went for a roast in the pub, and it was sensational.
Great.
Imagine a roast with all the trimmings, followed by a 3-0 victory.
3-0.
Lovely
It doesn't
stuff.
get any better than that.
No.
Other than to maybe
Lovely stuff.
inflate your fucking
I'm off
doodah
to
later
inflate
on
my willy now.
through your balls.
Pump my ball bag.
All right, then that's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back throughout the week with a load of stuff we've already recorded because it's almost Christmas. Thank you very much. Oh, one more thing to mention. If you're IFS, we're going to do
Christmas
our
party.
live video stream Christmas party on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. and the link will be sent out for you at your IFS. It'll be posted on the Patreon and you'll get the email with the link to click on and watch. And if you want to join in, if you've got something of value to contribute towards it, whether it's a talent you'd like to show off, or a song you'd like to sing, a joke you'd like to tell.
Also, food. If we were thinking everyone could bring some Christmas food.
Yeah.
And if you've got some interesting Christmas food that you want to show us and
Show
talk
off.
to us about briefly, then by all means do.
But you'll have to email us in advance and get pre-approval,
Yeah.
and we'll give you the information about how to come
And
on.
it's got to be good as well.
topflighttimemachine@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So that's Thursday night.
And I
8
don't
p.m.
want anyone trying to hypnotise us. Last time someone tried to
Yeah.
hypnotise us and also tried to tell us what we were in past life as well.
Yeah, we're not going to fall for that shit, so don't try
Enough
it.
of that. We're not going to get tricked again.
Yeah. Right. So there we are. Thanks very much for listening. And of course, goodbye.
Goodbye.